We are in the beautiful island of Ischia, off the coast of Naples, Italy, for any of my lovely regular viewers and listeners. In the background, you see some mountains. I haven't been able, or some plateau, or however they're called, but I haven't been able to get you any of the ocean videos, seaside videos yet, but I plan on trying to get that today. In the meantime, my voice is still on a healing path, and that reminds me of our lovely conversation. Throat chakra, heart chakra, the higher hearts. So the 5D mystic is essentially a person who knows we're not needing to be mystics, so we demystify without demystifying, because we remain educated, or teachable is the right word. So stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable, smart. I love creating acronyms, and this one's my favorite. I got it from Daniel Siegel, who used a number of them, and one that I still keep in mind, and I'm still finishing up my interpersonal neurobiology course, yes, I think that's the right title. So Mindsight Institute. For any one of you who wants to learn about your embodied brain and how your mind works, it's awesome. I'm almost done. And in the meantime, so FACES, the optimized brain of a human being, flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable, and that is in the machines that get to read and see how we work. And a lot of people that are mystics alone, and that's that 4D plane, unfortunately they don't move into that Zen mastery of their self. And I say unfortunately because they remain in the illusion that to be able to channel, or to be able to read tarot, or to be able and do Akashic record readings is only of the supra-natural, versus hearing neuroscience and the entire community that I've been looking into as the Well and Big Think have great, not only authors, these are researchers, so they're authors because they do research, and one of them stands out. I forget what his name is, but he explains 4 commonalities that take place in the brain through the machine it shows again, of those of us who channel. So my 5D mystics, listen up, and you will know that it's you if you're a person who unconsciously loves humanity and yourself with flaws and imperfections, and you also have been exponentially energized more and more and more. So here's where yoga comes in. I learned about these 2 words, pure consciousness, which is 5D, by the way. It's called oneness consciousness, avatar consciousness, Christ consciousness. It's always the same. Unconditional love, which I immediately knew what it meant, but then I saw these 4D mystics and people in the middle kind of play with this, and I'm like, wait a minute. So full circle. Yoga, and I learned this from a beautiful instructor in one of my workshops. She explains what Purusha and Prakriti are. I was like, wow, that's my 5D peeps, which aren't just mystics. So back to first a neuroscience dude. And I'm sure he's a doctor or PhD or something like that, but I'm sorry, I don't remember titles. That's how my brain farts when it comes to data points like that, but it doesn't on connecting the dots in different ways. So when the brain is connected, the way that those of you who connect, because again, 5D mystics, the machines show what takes place in our lovely physical brain now. It's very fascinating because every year of your journey, if you're 5D mystic, you'll notice the body's sensations, you'll notice your head sensations. So you'll be able to track. I can still remember year after year after year, the areas of my brain that activated during peak energy moments, which is where 4D keeps talking to you only with words such as Kundalini awakening, and then they describe it to you as only a spiritual journey. I like to share spiritual journey is AKA personal development journey, but it's a little bit more in depth than that because you're gaining awareness of your embodied brain if you learn about it being your brain and your nervous system. So our nervous system, which is the reptilian nervous system, flight, fight, freeze, attach, cry, collapse, submit, please, appease, and reptilian to the yoga practitioners who teach about the nervous system. The mammalian is our ventral vagal nervous system, which the head, the ears, and I forget where it stops down here. So 5D mystics consistently engage in Purusha Prakriti. This is where I'm trying to make a distinction. So we don't get afraid in our body when we are connecting to what is not supra-natural. It's the optimization of our brain as a human being's brain. So as the dude, the PhD, or anyways, doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, it's the empirical data that they build that matters, not necessarily the title. And obviously things can change. Don't forget, Today we know so many things. Tomorrow we'll find out more. This is the other gift of a 5D person with common sense. Smart, stable, mature, adaptive, teachable, rational, teachable, excuse me, at the end. The teachable is at the end because you're not going to ever know everything, and no subject matter expert who comes to us and says, I know everything. You're like, well, I'm not really sure. And as for the all-knowing, all-powerful, all whatever, we don't need a name, because as long as it's all-knowing, all-powerful, and it means that everything is going as planned, we don't need to wait for perfect timing. The whole point. So people in 4D mystic land treat the universe, source, all of these words. They might as well move back into 3D land, because really, if they believe in supra-natural. 5D doesn't. Somehow we're like, there's not supernatural. And when physics came along, there you go. And science, so lo and behold, somatic sensory motor trauma, experts, I love you, high five. And here's where, let me get back into flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, and stable brains are integration of the mind. So when a person has integration of the mind, as Daniel Siegel showed, all hands on deck, left and right mode, left is your verbal, right is your nonverbal, coming together, they don't block each other. And lo and behold, you're out of Maya land, by the way, back to yoga, the 5 mindsets, monkey, doll, butterfly, the siphoning like a little cutting knife. In fact, they cut to destroy. They don't actually peel it to taste the fruit. And then the ones who are enamored with their own light. And this is where a lot of people think they're anointed because they have clairs. Back to my other dude, as he expresses selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, and richness. These are the 4 things that take place in the human being's brain when they're tapping into what was once defined only as supernatural. So people, deities, shamans, and all due respect to all of the individuals, but this is where I have experience of connecting to the sphere. And when I heard this guy's explanation, I was like, this is awesome. Everyone is special. To see 5D person, we're human advocates. So we cheer on humanity as a whole, not the one group with one diagnosis or the other group with but the past, the ancient past is what we want back. And none of that. It's human beings. We don't need to even be told you're a doing, a be, what are we talking about here? We're always able to potentially be. Now let me put my compassion hat back on. Bezo Vanderkolk. The part of your body. So if somebody is dysregulated or modulated embodied experiences, embodied self, that's why yoga does such a great benefit to them. If somebody has their adaptive child all over the place, so they're the non-disciples or the compulsive from the Zen tradition story from Sadhguru that we've been discussing, well, we already know they're going to have a bit more challenging of a time to tap into their optimized version. So to move into integration of the mind, because what do they have? They have addictive behaviors, which doesn't mean only sex, drugs, alcohol, food. It can mean video games. It can mean procrastinating. It can be those mindsets that I mentioned from yoga. And it isn't the substance. It's the relationship that you and I, each and every one of us, have to substances overall. Like when I would smoke, my smoking was for pleasure, but also for stress relief, which is why I don't pick it back up, because the stress relief part can make me inclined to use it in moments of panic attack mode, because even though it's a contradiction, it's still my go-to for stress relief besides pleasure. So knowing my relationship to the substance without being extreme. In fact, I love when people throw smoke in my face because I'm a smoker officially, tobacco, the good tobacco. Just saying one random example. So 5D mystic or just a functional adult isn't going to be like a little baby about something or brainwashed and react to people in a certain way, which is completely, I'd say, rude. But since some of us are grown-ups while others are not, and they fixate on only whoever it is that said, this is good, this is bad. So they're sanctified, non-sanctified, which is, by the way, their karma. All these different mixes. We get to bring human, spiritual, and spirituality elements in the 5D person who's very much easygoing about it, because they're like, wow, I love all of these topics, because yoga's nice, holistic is nice, Reiki practitioner here, tarot, all of the words that I just mentioned mean something, but not in a way of, oh my gosh, I identify with it. It's my idea. This is who I am. No, these are subject matters. So we get to learn more about being human beings. In fact, we're not advocates. We're just human. We don't have to advocacy for anything. We actually share and spread the word. Compassion beyond a reason. Unconditionally love each other. Be kind. Be the Zen master of you and support your group. and move forward.